We all hope for a better world. Oh, how I wish we did, at any rate. It's often not the case. And why is that? Oh, how I wish was inspired by arcs in the Hearty Chatter series exploring empathy and the collective. And beyond that, its deepest root in the open sea same inspiration that we would open our eyes and our hearts to a shared unified reality. Then, friends, these are the first 4 episodes in the Oh How I Wish series, exploring themes of separation and integration, of unified vision, of the pure momentum of our feelings and our shared dreams and aspirations. We look at these lofty ideas with eyes of realism, recognizing the merits and facing the obstacles. Then tune in and reflect. Can we turn our dreams into a living reality? In our first installment, we look at the simple baseline, how the calling for integration and unity as a collective is compromised by a drive to assert ourselves in separation. Oh, how I wish we could all live in peace and harmony, find safety and support among our fellow beings, each human an integral part of our one beautiful collective. Stay with me here, would you? There is not an encore of Heal the World broadcasting hopes and dreams from Never Neverland. This is the opening for our Oh How I Wish series, exploring our deeper aspirations, musings and reflections tempered with the realities of life. So peace in the world, peace in our immediate community, even within ourselves. There's no quick and easy hippie fix to any of that. Peace is hardly a reality without baseline safety, and baseline safety entirely hinges on fairness in our society. Fairness rooted in balance between us all, where none may subvert the other in order to accomplish their aims. Fair dealings and justice for all. Justice, not law and its interpretations, rather a fabric of ethics stemming from the common sense of us all being a part of a shared interdependent collective. Such fancy words, but they are not for the philosophers or the governors, they are for all of us to register and apply in our lives. When you, yourself, chronically subvert, override, exploit others in order to meet your desires, in order to eliminate your fears, then tell me, how is there fairness for anyone? When your idea of happiness implies the sadness of someone else, when your creation requires the destruction of another, then how is there safety for anyone? And when we live in a world so polarized, each an enemy unto the other at the end of the day when push comes to shove, then how is peace a prospect for any of us? Even simply your inner peace. You may think by resigning from the concerns of the world, by dissociating, never mind, the world goes its way, I am abiding in my own lofty peace, you find peace of mind. You will not. In some corner of your mind, you will have your solitary peace. The rest of you, born of this world, integral to this world, will not be at peace. You will only ever find well-rounded and sustainable peace when all of you engages in doing the right thing at any given time. If you bypass the frictions of the world, do not make the hard decisions. When it's time to act, you step aside, you will never find peace. Forever haunted by what you did not do and what the consequences were for others when you had the opening to act. So yes, it all starts with the individual, and with the individual setting aside their fractured subjective drives, but it doesn't stop there. With this shift in perspective, we come to a shared vision, we come to the collective plane of engagement. And there will always be conflict, there will always be tension, if you refuse to face it, and you then refuse to cooperate, work together, because it's so complicated, because all those others are looking for the wrong kind of peace or in a flavor that does not please me. Back to your cave, you hermit. Pass away, you are of no use to the collective. For your peace of mind, for your safety, for you to be treated fairly, seize the opportunities. When life brings before you an opening to do the right thing, to work together, be there, do that. Yeah, by all means, step on the high stage, sing from the bottom of your heart, heal the world, make it a better place, but also walk your talk and also dance your songs. Not only when it's time to perform for the many, at all times, and especially when it's not seen. Long story short, peace, safety, fairness, reconciliation, harmony as a collective. These all depend on your stepping out of your little subject shell, opening yourself to the whole, thinking thoughts, taking actions, stemming from a place of balance that are best for us all as a whole. Be well and reflect on all of this. Our musings will continue. In the second installment, we look into the imperative of unified vision, how it happens one way or another. We either recognize the broader shared fabric of reality, or we are driven into little silos determined by our intentions. Oh, how I wish we could all see the same, share a unified vision, a world brought together by our underlying essence. Mind you, I'm not talking about each of us being plugged into a hive mind, thinking the exact same thoughts, or dressing and behaving the same like a colony of clones. Those are all matters of the surface, and at the surface there is always distinction. That's the beauty of life. The essence that we need to seek and find and see, the vision that opens the bridges bringing us all together, is the essence of the underlying fundamental sameness in our minds, in our bodies. A tree is a tree. Pines, birches, fruit-bearing trees, they all need water and they all give us yields, oxygen and nutrition. And so it is with us human beings. Beyond the so many transitory contexts, the lay of the land in there is very much the same. And yes, those contexts that we land in their essence, they are a neighborhood of concerns, the shorter bridges between us. The longer and broader bridges leading to the nexus of our unity, the needs and the dynamics of our bodies, of our emotions, of our intellects, of our identities, and of our conscious essence. So, lofty ideas, but what need is there for all of this? Can we not just be sprawling and crawling around as we please? And there, my friend, there's the catch. As a species, we have a fundamental need for convergence. Coexistence is a matter of evolutionary survival. In there, it's simply that we have a choice of how we converge, what brings us together. In the good, in the vast, into the fullness of all that we are, or in the evil, in the narrow, into a fraction of what we are. This necessity is ever driven and fulfilled, executed in nature's course. When we, as a society, as a civilization, fail to take interest in convergence in the fullness of what we are driven into silos, into manageable little buckets with their predictable vectors that can be woven together. In there, behold the marvel of the algorithms directing our lives, a force of nature in action, capturing and manipulating your attention, seeding and curating your intentions. In that, my friends, you are turned into manageable reductions, a mere shadow of a human being, but together you come, each turning into clones of the other, thinking the same thoughts, wearing the same clothes in your particular niche. And so, like puppets, you are made to dance, automatons churning in the gears of the machine. Is that truly what you wish to be? Is that what you wish for all of us to become? There is no middle ground here. Either you expand toward the fullness of what you are, what we all are, or you shrink into a puppet sculpted by your fractured desires. This vision of our underlying sameness, this orientation into your lives, is the critical need of our times. Make your choice, walk your talk, rise to the high ground. The middle ground will sink into the nethers. Clear vision, beyond surface details. That we need, seek that, and be well. In our third installment, we enter the heartland of pure emotions. Emotions carry the momentum of life, but are they stemming from pure reflections of reality or from our subjective little shells? Oh, how I wish we could all feel pure emotions, raw reflections from the fabric of life. Instead of diving headlong into tunnels crafted in the clouds, immersed and driven by our illusions. When our feelings are ungrounded, rooted in ideas, not in reality, we fall into imbalance, into excess and deficit. This potential drives us to create things that should not be and to destroy things that should remain. Even when the voice of reason clearly indicates otherwise, untethered emotions drive us into lands of chaos. Interpersonal conflict, wars between peoples, and even our own inner world in turmoil. Pushed and pulled by our shadows and distorted reflections, we are led astray from the shared fabric of life. Then, as these distorted, ungrounded emotions become sculpted into your identity, as they become the glue that pulls our communities together, how lost we all are. If only we could snap out of that deceptive momentum just for a moment of self-awareness, lucid, grounded, how much better off would we all be? Pure and raw emotion, born from reflections of reality as it is pristine, exists on a plane of objectivity, where we can all witness for ourselves. Yes, from there that potential was born, and in there is its purpose. For emotions were not born without reason, they are a product of our evolution, to lead us to safety, to keep us bonded together, to lead us to contentment, to stimulate our ever-unfolding discoveries. That and more is what emotions are for. But when we craft emotions in our minds, they all remain disconnected. Then please, look into your heart, evaluate your emotions, discover their origins, and discover their purpose. Investigate in sincerity. What I feel, is it born of truth or lies? Emotions nesting in self-deception are harmful for you, and they are complicated for all of us. How many the wonders that could unfold for all of us if only some of us stop stomping the ground, resisting because they don't feel right about it, when their feelings are rooted in their lies. Then into self-awareness, my friends, keeping your emotions real. In the fourth and final installment, carried by the winds of our aspiration, can we discover a shared dreamland, or must we always sculpt our private castles in the sky? Oh, how I wish we could all freely share our dreams, nurture our potentials together, turning harmonic dreams into harmonic realities. Yet it's all downright impossible when your dreams must exist in a bubble you control, where it's your dreams versus their dreams, where you fail to recognize the shared fabric in your dreams. But truly, it matters not if it's marigolds or chrysanthemums when the pollinators come and the butterflies come all the same. The dream, where at the end of the day everything orbits around you and serves your needs, that's not the universal dream, that's the dream of a perverse, egotic creator. Should we not seek the bridges between our dreamlands? Can we not find the essential heart in our aspirations, where synergy naturally follows from embracing the inner spirit and underlying truth in our dreams and visions? Sweet dreams are not made of cheese, where every rat is looking for something to nibble in their holes. That's just the rat race, that's not the path to a better world. What say? Next time someone shares with you their aspirations and the works they have set in motion, you actually look into it. Instead of waiting for your turn to show off what you have done that's kind of similar but a little bit better. Appreciate the merits, look for the parallels, highlight what you share. And of that shared essence, recognized, extracted by attending to patterns that matter beyond your little box, something greater than any of us alone may be born. The environment and its resources in itself is not the main obstacle to the fulfillment of our greatest and loftiest hopes and dreams. The main obstacle is a mindset where you must be the lead act and the final beneficiary of all of these aspirations. When the dreams we all dream are seen through the filter of your belly button stuffed into your little box, everything is corrupted. Separation, fragmentation, contrast, contradiction, that is the dark habitat of your ego. There we have the root poison, the arch nemesis of any utopia that could be if we all work together toward it. Then dream free, dream together, and dream of a shared essence. Of that, one day yet, a brighter and better world will come to blossom. Until then, here we are, dreaming of what should be and deconstructing the things that should not be. Be well, and keep it real for all. With that, friends, our first package of noble wishes is a wrap. We've looked at separation and integration, into unified vision, into pure emotions and shared aspirations. In all of that, the silver thread is very clear. If your belly button is the center of the universe, then the world will be broken forever. And if we recognize ourselves as more than individuals standing for themselves, that we exist integrated into a greater whole, then one day yet the world may be a better place for us all. Then keep on dreaming of a better reality and keep on realizing better dreams. Keep it real and be well.